Hi, you all. Can you hear me okay? Kara, I see you. Okay, perfect. Hi, I am Emily Burgess, and I am so excited to be a part of this call tonight. So very honored to have all of you take some time out of your night to come and hear these stories. So many of the faces that you are seeing here tonight are people who have been positively impacted by these Plexus supplements. I know that might sound weird, that might sound cheesy, that might be like, oh, she's just trying to sell me on something. Please hear my heart. That is not at all what this is. We love you. We want you to feel great. If you think Plexus is the way to go, then we support you in that. If you don't feel like it is, then that's okay too. But we want you to hear some of these stories because they could change you the way that they've changed so many other people. So stories like these are what changed my life. Hearing from so many of my friends that it was helping them, Plexus was helping them with their weight, with their energy, with their sleep, with their mood. It made me understand that the way I was feeling as a fatigued mother who did not sleep very well, I would wake up very restless from a restless night of sleep. I'd wake up exhausted. I would crave all the sugar. I'd crave all the rest because I was so tired. I realized that was not normal being a young, I say young, I'm gonna still say young, a young mom in my late 30s. Okay, that was not normal. And I didn't realize that until I started on these products. They've given me my life back, my husband his life back, my mom her life back, and hundreds of thousands of others. And so I'm so excited for you to be here tonight. And I hope and I pray that you hearing these stories, it might resonate with you. And you might be able to say, you know what? I'm a lot like Taryn. I'm going to try this out because she's had a great result with these products. I'm going to see if this can help me. So talk to your person who's invited you here. Reach out to the person that's sharing, ask them questions. This is super casual, super laid back. This is a family right here. It truly is. We are so glad to have you guys on tonight. And is it Taryn? Taryn, are you up next? Okay, thanks guys.
Yes, thanks, Emily. Hey, everybody, welcome. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for taking time to listen to our stories. It really does mean a lot. Honestly, I'm a little nervous to share, but that is honestly one of the things I really love about Plexus is that it has totally pushed me outside of my comfort zone in many, many ways. And if that like scares you right off the bat, don't hang up off the call. I promise it's not as scary as it seems. But something that I do really love is that I feel like we're all here because we probably have a similar mindset. We all want to live our best lives. We all want to be healthy, not only healthy for ourselves, but our families, spiritually, financially, mentally, physically, everything, right? So I think we probably all have that similar interest in common. So something that has like really blessed a lot of our lives is Plexus. And when you think about it, you might just think supplements, but honestly, in all of those areas, it has truly made a huge impact in my life. And I think the way that we can grow in these areas is surrounding ourselves with people who are like-minded. So when I said yes to the products and I was inconsistent on the slim for the first month and told my friend it didn't work, I had no idea what I was actually unpacking. I'll tell a little bit more about my story in a few minutes, but I just kind of want to encourage you with wherever you're at. If you've been doing this for years, or you've been off and on, or you're brand new and you haven't even got your products yet, or you're a little bit curious about what this opportunity could look like for you and your family, I just encourage you to have an open mind and to dream big and to realize that you're here for a reason and that this Plexus could be a vessel and a vehicle for you and your family to literally live your best lives and your best self. So a little bit about my story. I started the products a year and a half ago. My good friend Hannah, who I played soccer with in college, introduced to me. I was just chronically bloated all the time. Couldn't relate it to anything. I ate well, I exercised regularly, drank my water, had no health issues, and I was just bloated and it was uncomfortable. And so I finally said yes. I wasn't a believer in supplements, but I did my homework and I trusted my friend who helped me get started. And quickly I began to realize that my bloating was gone. I was feeling a lot better. But then it kind of unpacked issues I had no idea I was even struggling with, like irregularity and poor sleep and just lack of energy, sugar cravings, all of those things within the first couple months totally transformed for me. And so that kind of really opened my eyes to like, wow, I'm doing all of these things like superficially that seem to be what I should be doing, but I was feeling so much better. And so that really kind of perked my interest in learning more about gut health. And I shared with my husband, and his migraines decreased, his acid reflux decreased, his sleep and energy also improved. And then I just started kind of naturally sharing, because that's what you do when you find something that works so well and you love people and you know that they're struggling. And so that kind of just progressed and turned into like organically sharing with people who I knew were struggling. And so now, a year and a half later, I'm a physical therapist and I absolutely love it. And Plexus has really allowed me to like pursue that as a passion and not feel like it has to be a job. So I'm also training for an Ironman, which is really exciting. If you've ever done one, you know the time and commitment it takes. And even if you don't, I just think that we can probably all value like what commitment looks like. And even with Plexus, like commitment to these products and commitment to our goals and our health is something that this community and that like these women and people really encourage. And it has just been amazing. So I also do or like have a nutrition coach. So like, I mean, I would consider myself pretty healthy, like doing all the right things. So you might wonder like, why does she need these products? Well, like let me tell you, it helps me recover quite a bit from my Ironman workouts, helps me sleep better, like I mentioned, and it just is allowing me to like function my best. And so whether you're healthy and you do all the right things, or you're at the opposite end of the spectrum and you feel like there's no hope, like everyone can benefit and everyone in between. And I may not have a like crazy transformation health story, like getting off medications or a lot of weight loss or changing my A1C or hormones. But honestly, you don't have to look far at all to find those stories. There are so many beautiful testimonies about how these products help people like with PCOS, with hormone issues, thyroid issues, migraines, weight, and some like really serious chronic health conditions that are all rooted in the gut. And so I encourage you to do a little bit of research on gut health, or ask the person who invited you here where you can find more information. But just one story to show that you don't have to fit in a box to be able to take these products or to look more into this opportunity. With like time in Ironman and time away from the clinic, I'm able to kind of develop an oncology program for physical therapy, which is something that is really near and dear to my heart. So Plexus has just given me the opportunity to do that. Sorry. But I'm sorry, you guys. Obviously, something I'm passionate about. So the opportunity to be able to help people with cancer is something that I really love. And Plexus has just gifted me the opportunity to be able to do that in like a non-traditional setting, to be able to kind of think outside the box with physical therapy, and to be able to develop a program here in my hometown. Since we moved from Houston, and I had the privilege of working in a big cancer hospital. So now that we're here, kind of in a more rural area in northern Idaho, I'm realizing that there's kind of like an paucity of oncology, PT, and education and everything. And so developing this program is something where I can step away from the clinic and step away from earning a good salary because of Plexus, because I have the opportunity to continue to help people with their health and their personal finances and their family, while I am able to develop this program on the side. So that is something that this has truly blessed me with. But sorry, I didn't plan to get emotional, but when you find something that you're really passionate about, it's hard not to share. And so that's really what this opportunity has done. And I've kind of realized it's selfish not to share, because my dream is important, but not any more important than anybody else's. And if I can help somebody realize that they have a dream and that it's possible, and just because it might seem hard or unconventional doesn't mean that they can't accomplish it. And if Plexus is a vehicle to help them do that and to help their family with financial freedom or time flexibility, then it's totally worth it. So I love that you guys are going to hear from Shelby and Kara, and they have definitely amazing stories. But something that I wanted to leave you with, I have this quote over on my board that I look at often that actually Emily shared with us. It's from Douglas. And the quote is, "Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the stronger the trees." And so just taking this as an opportunity and to kind of encourage you to, like I said, think about what it can do for you and your family, and to just grow and to kind of dive in. And even if it seems a little bit scary, whether you're just here for the products, which is totally fine, or you're here to kind of unpack what this opportunity could look like, just know that like time and consistency and being able to push yourself, because you can push yourself further than you think you can. So I hope this was encouraging, and I would love to answer any questions if you guys have any. So I'll pass it off to Shelby, and she can share her story.
Hey guys, I hope you guys can hear me okay. I feel like we should end the call now because that was amazing. Taryn, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So my story started with Plexus 2 years ago. I was drowning in all of the postpartum anxiety normalness. I just thought that was normal what you're going through. Sorry, I have a baby. I hope you guys can hear me okay. She's crying in the background, but don't worry, Daddy's got her, putting her to bed. Anyway, I had been exposed to Plexus in our neighborhood about 5 years prior to seeing my friends start sharing about it on Facebook. And I was really skeptical because it had been portrayed kind of poorly in our area. It was portrayed as, drink this pink drink and you'll lose all the weight. And that's why I love Taryn's story, because Taryn is the exact opposite of that, and showing that Plexus is, it can help you with your weight loss, but getting to the root, the gut health issues, is really what we're doing, and everyone needs that. I had been a part of an MLM in the past, and it was one where I had to have inventory. I had to be in person having parties. And I'm an introvert. That scares me. This really scares me to be talking to all of you through this. But I just never earned any money through it. So I just kind of had a bad taste in my mouth in both areas. I hadn't had social media for years. I just felt consumed by it. But it was when I was sitting there 2 months postpartum, I had just left my teaching career about, well, exactly 9 months before that, about 11 months, because the day my husband and I had been praying for if it was the right thing for me to stay at home or not. And I just hated having to take my daughter to daycare every day and then go teach. And so we prayed about it, and I left teaching. And the day after I left teaching, we found out we were pregnant with baby number 2. So we had to learn how to live on one income, and we failed at that big time. So I'm sitting there 2 months postpartum again, and I am on my husband's Facebook, because the only way we could afford clothes for our girls was to be shopping on this consignment shop on Facebook. And my friend Brittany kept posting about her link to gut health and anxiety, and that kept triggering something in my mind. Maybe this is something I need. And so we talked about it, and she mentioned how much it cost. And immediately, I said, Britt, I can't afford that. We're paying for our groceries on credit cards. We hadn't figured out how to make it work. And she said, well, Plexus has a great program to allow you to get your product paid for because we want you to feel better. And so if you can get 3 friends to try this out with you, then it'll pay for your products. And in no way, shape, or form did I ever feel like she was trying to sell me something, kind of just more, how can it help you and how can that work so that you can get to feeling better? So immediately I thought of my grandma and my sister-in-law and my friend, and they're all still on the products with me to this day, almost 2 years later. It paid for my products for the next 2 to 3 months by just sharing with those 3 people. And that's when I realized that God was answering our prayers that I didn't even realize were possible. It was in that moment when I got my first paycheck that I realized that maybe this is my outlet here to be able to continue to be a stay-at-home mom, but also to be able to help our family. My daughter was at the next level of having to have tubes put in her ears if she had another ear infection. And she started the kids multivitamin the same time I started the triplex. And she hasn't had an ear infection since 2 years later. So that's kind of just a little bit of my health story. My anxiety completely took a turnaround 2 months later of being on the triplex. And by that time, I was just loving the opportunity part of that. Like Taryn mentioned, this business is, it pushes you so far out of your comfort zone, but in such a good way, in so many different aspects of your life. It's not always easy, but this business is simple. If you do the simple there's 5 things to do every day, your business will grow. And what I love about our team is it's never about sales. It's never about putting numbers in your back office. It's always about serving and letting others take their time to realize that this could be the answer to what they're praying for, whether that's health-wise, financial-wise, but community-wise too. This community of women is by far the most beneficial part of Plexus to me. I have a great health story. I have replaced my teaching income, but when you're surrounded by women who are always lifting you up in prayers and surrounding you with positivity, that's something I hadn't really had in the past. And so that's been the biggest light to me through all of this. And it's something I never thought I could do, but that's why I'm here to tell you that you can. If you think of it, none of us probably grew up thinking, I want to be in sales when I grow up, or I want to be in network marketing, unless you were raised by an entrepreneur. Still to this day, my mom will say, so are you going to go back and get your master's? And right now I have no desire to go back to teaching. This fills my heart in so many ways because it really is about serving others. And when you're able to do that, the income, the community, all of that just makes it even more fulfilling. So again, like Taryn said, if you have any questions for me specifically, please put those in the chat. And I appreciate you guys listening to us tonight. And I think Kara's up next.
Hey, yeah, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, perfect. I just love hearing both from Taryn and Shelby. And I wrote this in the chat, but I think it's a lot of people look at network marketing and they're like, oh, well, yeah, I'm just not very social, like on social media. I love that part of Shelby's story is that Shelby didn't even have a Facebook. I remember like being in 3-way chats with Philip, her husband, because she didn't even have a Facebook. And now for her to be able to grow. And I just love that about anyone really can do this. So my name is Kara Carrington and I live in Northwest Arkansas, and I am a physical therapist. Kind of. No, I really am. I don't do it as much anymore because I have 2 little girls that I stay home with and I work Plexus. So those are what I do most often. So I've been doing Plexus for 3 years, and I want to take you back 3 years and a month ago, right before I started Plexus. I was pregnant with my first baby, and I literally, my husband and I were on a journey of getting rid of our debt. Like that has been something that we've wanted to do since I graduated from PT school in 2016. And literally the day that we went to be induced with our daughter, we paid off one of my last undergrad loan, and we just had my husband's undergrad and my grad school loans. But literally I have a picture of me like standing with our chart, and I'm like, hey, going to be induced, and we had just crossed it off. And so that's kind of our background, is that we wanted to get rid of all of our student loan debt. And so when I had my baby, I knew that I was going back to work 12 weeks later. And that 12 weeks was kind of a stretch because I wasn't getting any maternity leave. It was just kind of like, I'm not going to have any income for these 12 weeks, but we're just going to deal with it and make it work. And so after I had Molly, our daughter, my world changed, right? So things change and you don't realize, priorities change, and you think you are prepared for what's going to happen, but you never really are. And so I was sitting there holding my baby. She was 2 weeks old, and I just like dreaded the day that I had to leave her. I just dreaded it, and I didn't want to, but I knew that we had to have my income to pay off those loans. Like we had to. And so it was just kind of this like longing, but also responsibility to do the things that we need to do. And so I was scrolling Facebook while I was nursing her one night, and I saw a post from my friend Emily, and it said, if you have made $500 a month with Plexus, comment below. Like that was it. Plexus wasn't even on my radar. I honestly had no clue what it even was, but I was like, $500, if I could make $500, that's $6,000 a year that I could put towards my loans. And that a light bulb went off in my head of, I want to talk to Emily about this. I trusted her. I knew she wasn't scammy. And I was like, if she's doing this, and there's like 30 or 40 people that have commented and they are making $500 a month, I was like, why can't I make $500 a month? Literally, that was my goal, to make $500 a month. So I messaged Emily and I said, what's Plexus? How do I get started? I feel like I had to beg her to sign me up. She was like giving me all this info. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. And so that was what it was. It was like a spur of the moment. I did it, probably postpartum emotional craziness, like not really thinking right, but the Lord's provision in all of it. Like that is, I just believe that. So I didn't think I needed the products. I was healthy. I had a healthy pregnancy, healthy delivery. Like I was just feeling good. I mean, I was tired, but what new mom isn't tired? And so I started taking them. I wasn't going to sell anything that I wasn't taking myself. So my husband and I both started on the products. And I quickly noticed how much I felt better. I did have more energy. I was able to cut a Dr. Pepper addiction that I literally lived on all throughout PT school, and also save money that way because I wasn't going to Sonic 3 to 4 times a week to get a Dr. Pepper. I tried to go in happy hour, but sometimes you just need it when you need it, and it's not happy hour and you have to pay full price. So save money that way. And then my headaches went away. I had some pretty bad headaches ever since I was a little kid. And I just never knew when they were coming. And I would just have like ibuprofen in my purse, and I would just always get ibuprofen. Probably weekly, I would have those headaches. And I stopped having them. I've been on the products for 3 years. I think I've probably had 10 to 15 headaches in the last 3 years when I was having them weekly. And so physically I felt better. And so that's kind of a health story for me, but also my journey has really been full all-in business since that day 3 years ago. And really quickly, kind of what's happened is it took 1 year and 9 months later, I quit my full-time job to go part-time, and then stayed home with my baby for 2 days a week. And then we found out we were pregnant with baby number 2. And then 2 years and 5 months later, I went full-time Plexus and quit my PT job. Actually, I work one Saturday a month, which is why I said I am kind of a PT. But I work at an inpatient rehab setting, one Saturday a month PRN, just to kind of keep my hand in it. And yeah, it's crazy the ride that it's been 3 years later. And that's right, Brittany, PRN for life. I don't know that I'll ever go back full time. But the reason I've been able to do that is because my PT or my Plexus income has replaced my full-time inpatient rehab PT salary. And so been able to stay home. And the best part is that we are on track to pay off all of our loans this summer. So May, June, hopefully soon, some things. And so that's just really exciting to think about. 5 years ago, I graduated with $120,000 in debt. We added on a car loan, so $135,000, and now we're down to something that we're going to be able to pay it off in just a few short months. And I love that. And I'll tell you this right now, that we were on track to do that anyway, regardless of Plexus. But the beauty is that I've been home for the last year and a half. And that wouldn't have been the case. That if it wouldn't have been for Plexus, we would still be paying off our loans, but I'd be working 5 days a week with Saturdays and holidays and all of those things. And so it has just been a huge blessing financially for our family. And my husband, we were talking just a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, Kara, you've really our family can dream, right? Like, we can do these, like, because of your Plexus income, like that has changed the trajectory of our family. And that's just such a really cool thing to be able to pour into my kiddos, and also make an income while working in the nooks and crannies of my day. Literally, right now with the 2-kid home life, we're trying to figure out when do I work, right? It's hard. They're at home. So we've kind of created a schedule of 3 days a week from 6:30 in the morning to 7:30 in the morning. I'm working while my husband's on kid duty. And so that's 3 hours a week of structured time. And then here and there throughout the rest of the day, answering questions and things like that. But you're looking at, I probably spend 10 hours a week, if that, doing this business. And so it's just been an incredible way to make an income and stay home with my family. So yeah, we're almost done with our debt. We're really excited. And it's just been really great to have the time flexibility that we've needed over the last few months, as some things have been really hard with my family, and my mom was really sick, and so we were able to go. We were just able to go and be there. And my husband has been working from home with COVID, and so we just packed up my family. We were in Texas for weeks at a time, just because we could, and I didn't have to ask off, and I didn't have to worry about my responsibilities at work, because I could just go. And I had a team that loved me and filled me up when I needed them. And it's just been a really, really incredible journey. And so I would encourage you, if you're sitting on this call tonight and you're like, I don't know, I'm not sure, this seems really great, but I'm skeptical, I would just really encourage you to just go for it. There is a 60-day money back guarantee. If you try it for 60 days and you don't like it, then you just delete all your posts and you give your money back, and you tried. It has changed everything. And I'm so, so thankful that in the postpartum craziness that I said yes, and then I haven't quit. And I haven't quit. And that's why we're successful, is that you've seen Taryn, she's been doing it for a year and a half, Shelby 2 years, me 3 years, Emily 4 years. Like we're all just here. We just haven't quit. So thank you all for hopping on tonight. I hope that you were just really encouraged, and like Taryn and Shelby have both said, if you have any questions, please reach out. We want to help you because we believe that you can do this too. So thank you all for coming tonight. And that's it, I believe. All right. Thank y'all.